welcome to From No Crypto to No Crypto. This is Blockchain Wayne bringing you another cryptocurrency podcast. Today's episode is brought to us by Concierge Club, mobile private key wallet and point of sale solution. Concierge Club makes purchasing easy, safe, and the overall process more efficient while costing less. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in the market today. Looks like Bitcoin is on a little bit of a run, along with other cryptocurrencies. Ethereum has surged 16%. We're seeing a little bit of recovery. At the time of recording, Bitcoin is trading right over 6,500. Ethereum's back over 200 for the minute. We'll see what happens. Is this a true reversal, or is this what they call a dead cat bounce? Dead cat bounce is when you see bulls try to take control. You see a surge in price, and then immediately hits resistance that it cannot break through. After multiple attempts, then you will see a dip back down. We'll see what happens in the long term, but that's what we're looking at right now. Bitcoin dominance still sitting over 55%. So that's what's going on in the market today. Let's jump in and see what's going on in the news while the bulls and the bears fight it out in the background. All right, that's all I got for a bull. I got to find a better bull sound effect. All right, so Morgan Stanley's in the news today. So Morgan Stanley is preparing to offer Bitcoin swap trading for its clients, according to unconfirmed sources in a report yesterday. So, citing people familiar with the matter, in an article from Bloomberg reporter, Business Insider Frank Shapiro revealed the giant plans to offer trading in complex derivatives linked to Bitcoin. Investors will be able to go long or short using the so-called price return swaps, and Morgan Stanley would charge a spread for each transaction, Marsh reports. Again, another big name institution getting into cryptocurrency. What does that mean for you and I? The biggest thing I'll look at this is it's going to give us more volume, more trading volume. So we will see what happens with that in the long term, but another big player jumping into the game. All right, so next up in the news, looks like several high-profile cryptocurrency companies and tech veterans in the nation are forming an industry lobbying group called the Blockchain Association to tackle issues related to the technology and digital assets central to them. The trade association will be the first group in Washington representing all parties who are building off technology behind Bitcoin. So exchanges like Coinbase and Circle are joining. You've got tech startups, Filecoin Creator, Protocol Labs, and investment funds like Polychain Capital and other blockchain associations plan to be the industry's lobbying arm in Washington on policy issues. So they're looking to provide a voice for anything from current laws. Its first order of business is going to be to address how cryptocurrencies are defined under U.S. tax laws. Can I get an amen on that one? That is my biggest concern, is that cryptocurrency investments should have the same type of tax laws as stock investments, but at this point they don't. And, you know, anything from to explain how anti-money laundering, AML, and know your customer regulations apply to the industry. A lot of clarification is needed in those groups. Glad to see this is happening. This is a big step forward. As I mentioned in the beginning, the biggest form of regulation we need is self-regulation from those that are in cryptocurrency. And it looks like some of the big players, at least in the U.S. for this point, are stepping up to the plate. All right. So another thing in the news, and just to cite a couple of articles that I posted on the Facebook page from No Crypto to No Crypto, we're starting to see different government entities collaborate and try to learn from each other about cryptocurrency and blockchain. So today in the news, Australian blockchain delegation heads to China to foster fintech ties. So Australians partner with some Chinese startups. They're heading to Ant National to look at their operations. Also, India might be ready to legalize, or is looking at how they can legalize crypto when they realize, if you look at what's happening in China trying to ban cryptocurrency, and it's just not happening because people are trading using VPNs, India is realizing that. So they're heading to Japan and the UK to study different policies that are already in place around this new and emerging market. So that's what we're looking at in the news today. Both of those articles you can read in depth on the Facebook page from No Crypto to No Crypto. All right, so this one I found kind of funny yesterday. The SEC issued a cease and desist order and a $200,000 fine to Crypto Asset Management and its founder, Timothy Inniking. And now what happened is, I do get that because they're saying that he was claiming that he was SEC approved, SEC regulated, registered, whatever you want to call it, and he was not. So that's where the falsification came in. But here's the part I find funny. So he raised $3.6 million from investors, and at the snapshot of when they published this article, they're looking at the holdings of $37 million. So does crime pay? I don't know. We'll take a look at it. But what I find funny is he took $3.6 million, turned it into $37 million, having to pay a $200,000 fine. Seems like a slap on the wrist, but it is what it is. So I just found that kind of funny. So it just kind of makes other people looking at the space like, hey, does crime pay? Now, granted, that was during, he did experience that big bull run of the end of 2017. So maybe that might not be viable now until the next bull run. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So next up, Waves. The team from Waves, a decentralized cryptocurrency platform, which it's a platform I'm very bullish on. I love using the Waves platform. And also our sponsor, Concierge Club, is built on top of the Waves platform. I just love decentralized crypto exchanges. So what they did, they met with Joseph Muscat, who is Malta's prime minister. Malta is becoming a big player in the cryptocurrency space, also offering a tax haven and many different benefits for cryptocurrency and blockchain companies to move to Malta. If you remember a while back, I talked about Binance is looking to move their headquarters to Malta. So they met with the Maltese government to discuss potential scenarios for use of the Waves platform in the state's government and corporate sectors. Sasha Ivanov, who is the founder and CEO of the Waves platform, attended a meeting with government representatives on the island to discuss technological cooperation in the field of healthcare, land registry, voting, and others, as well as proposals to use Waves as a platform for tokenizing financial instruments. So we'll see more about how that plays out. All right, so let's jump into our crypto education today. Real quick, so yesterday I talked about how to do your own research. I really went in depth on what is a white paper, what do you want to look for in a white paper, and where can you find white papers, right? So that is definitely a strategy you need to have if you're going to buy and hold long term. Today, I am going to take a short dive, very short dive. I'll go more in depth later into if you want to be more of whether it's a day trader or just a trend trader. Now, a day trader goes in and makes multiple trades daily. What a trend trader does is actually just may hold for several days or several weeks, depending on the trend of the market. When it looks like a major trend reversal, they will either buy or sell depending on the reversal of the trend. So I'll look into that in a second. But first, I want to jump into something I started a while back, looking at cryptocurrencies that have actual working products. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. Keep in mind, working product at this point does not guarantee a financial gain in cryptocurrency. It's a highly speculative market. It's driven a lot by hype. So, which is why, investing, one of my first investments in a cryptocurrency, it did well at first and then it tanked. And I still feel very bullish in the long term of this cryptocurrency because it has a working product. So looking at these two that I'm going to mention today, again, it's not investment advice. It's just looking at, okay, which ones have real world use case as you do your own research and decide what you wanted to look into. So WANChain, WANCHAIN. WANChain aims to build an improved financial infrastructure to connect the digital economy through blockchain interoperability. So use cases for WANChain's network are vast, and they include decentralized financial services, supply chain logistics, medical data sharing, and security, digital ID management, and more. So with the release of WANChain 2.0, it's now possible to transfer Ether cross-chain using WANChain's Ethereum mapping token. That's one example of a cross-chain. Another one we're looking at is Bancor. Now, Bancor is a liquidity provider that enables users to exchange tokens without the need for a third party to be involved in financing the transaction. Bancor's technology makes it possible to convert one token to another, so the investors can be confident they won't be stuck involuntarily holding a cryptocurrency that they want to sell. So this is two examples of different ones, whether it's a cross-chain swap or just being able to transfer across different chains. We have, the ability with these two cryptocurrencies. So that's what we're looking at now. So let's take a quick dive into trading. So if you wanted to get into trading, you know nothing about trading, you were where I was a year ago. So a year ago, I've been investing in cryptocurrency, just kind of blindly buying what sounded good, what I read up on, or what I heard hype. And I started to want to get into the day trading. So first thing you want to do, and I mentioned this in past episodes as well, but if you haven't, go ahead and do so now. Create an account on tradingview.com. Now, if you go to tradingview.com, they do have paid accounts, but at this point, you don't need a paid account. You just need the basic free account. I've been using the free account for a while before I decided to, upgrade just to get a few more features, which you don't need at this point until you increase your skill set and you want to dive heavier into it. So set up a free account on tradingview.com. And when you go, you can enter a pair. So if you want to look up Bitcoin, you would enter BTC/USD, and then it will give you the option. It'll give you a lot of information on what's going on in the market. They even have like a buy sell indicator. I never really go by that. That's just it's usually never correct at this point, because that's just going off the technicals, and we want to use more than just technicals. But then when you open up the interactive chart, you click on interactive chart, it will give you a chart of the price action. You can change your timeline from, you want to look at the 1 hour chart, you want to look at the 30-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, the 1 day chart. Well, all that means is every candle, if you select, say, the 1 day chart, each candle on that chart indicates 1 day. And so you can see the daily trend. Now, if you do the 5-minute, that gives you a much more in-depth look at what's going on in the moment. And each candle will represent 5 minutes. So once you do that, you're going to want to set up 3 indicators on your chart. You want to set up Bollinger Bands. Now, when you set up Bollinger Bands, you're going to see something called the SMA, Simple Moving Average, as one of your data inputs, because it's going to ask you to confirm. Change that number to 50. And Bollinger Bands, what they do is that shows you a level of resistance, both top and bottom, and it typically will have a middle line in it as well. So if that trend is above the middle line, you could possibly see a breakout to the upside. If it's constantly hugging the bottom of the trend, you could possibly see it making a dip, which dip trading is going to be very profitable as well. So you just want to know how to identify those trends. Also, when the two bands, the top and bottom band, get between less than 2.5% apart, then typically you see what's called a squeeze. And I'll go in depth later. You don't have time right now to go into squeeze trading, but squeeze can indicate when you can make a potential trade. Also, you want to set up the MACD, MACD. That will show you the moving average convergence divergence, which will show you whether the market is trending up or down with the moving averages. And then also you want to set up RSI. RSI will show you a band that will relative strength index, which basically means at this point, if you see the RSI dip well below the bottom indicator, then you see that it is what's called oversold, which means you could see a buyback, which means the price could spike up. Very profitable if you're looking for, to use RSI to jump into like a 1, 2, or 3% quick gain. When something is extremely oversold, you typically see a correction. And also when it's way above the top indicator line is what's called overbought, which means you could see a price correction where you could see a dip incoming, which could be a signal not used by itself, but could be a signal to exit a position or set a stop at least. That way, if the price dips, you sit out of the dip, and then maybe you're able to buy it back at a lower price, or you've already taken out your profit. So just a few things. Looking to go more in depth on that later. But that is it for our Crypto Education Corner today. I want to thank you for listening in. As I mentioned also, all of the news articles that I mentioned in the podcast are available and posted, along with a few others that I choose not to mention on the podcast, on our Facebook page, From No Crypto to No Crypto. Make sure you find us on Facebook. Give the page a like. Also, if you already like the page, or when you hit the like, also hit that little follow button, and it'll pop up with a screen that allow you to choose See First. When you choose See First, and make sure it shows up on your timeline, you will never miss an update from us or an episode. Anything we post will automatically show up in your timeline when you open Facebook. So make sure you do that. And as always, thank you for listening in, and have a great day. We'll see you on the next episode.